Okay. Before I start, right?
You doing on the presentation too?
No. That one actually was in the second one.
Well, hurry up.
Okay. Before I start the presentation, I'll pick a conference room where the room is enclosed, where there's no noise, no distractions, have the air conditioning set at a comfortable temperature, if possible, have a room with a window with natural light. If not, have lighting what makes the room light, so have no problems. Have the presentation set up at the front of the screen of the room. Make sure that the room has suitable toilets and safety exits. When setting up the seating arrangements, I have 2 columns with a walk-in aisle, which is wide enough to walk down, but also have the room on the sides so people can walk around. I'll have a copy of the presentation on each chair for people, and who also has trouble seeing the presentation, I can have it on their form too. But I also will have a front row reserved for the vision impaired, who have try and see the presentation. I would also designate a wheelchair area for the presentation, so they can access the presentation easily. Okay, now I'll go for the presentation. Good morning and welcome to the Establishing Networks presentation. And thank you for coming. This presentation will be for about approximately 30 to 45 minutes long. Before I start the presentation, there is some safety and general information which I want to talk to you first about. The toilets are located at the back of the room. Males are on the right, females are on the left, and disability toilets are in the middle. The exit and safety exits are on both sides of the room. If there's an emergency, you should follow the safety procedures, which is the procedure is to listen to the presentation, which is me, and I'll give you instructions how to, in case of an emergency, but most of all, do not panic. Do you have any questions about this topic before I continue on?
No, that's fine.
Okay, establishing networks. As we are fully aware that people want to establish networks with other companies and to expand their business, to expand their community service business and to help clients. So the principles of importance of networking is simply building a relationship to provide mutual benefits to both parties involved. That's through sharing of information and working together to reach a desired outcome. Networking is important because it provides opportunities for better outcomes for clients, greater flexibility for the organisation, and increased resources for the workers and the community. And so instead of having one room available, if you're networking with another company, they might have 2 rooms available, so you can use either company's resources. There is also many benefits of networking, including that there will be it prevents duplication of services, meaning that you won't offer a service and the client, another organisation, also offers the same service. So instead of both of us offering, only one will, and that's the benefit. Better opportunity for funding, tapping, and save money and time because you're not spending a lot more money on other things when you are networking. Okay. Identifying appropriate and useful networks across both government and non-government sectors. The first step to networking to these these companies, is to identify the areas that are beneficial to our organisation and the client. And some of these areas you might want to look at first is look at the needs of the client base, what issues you are seeing walking through your door, and what areas are staff regularly struggling to find resources or referral pathways to. And that's the first step. In other words, you just have to know what you have to identify what you want first, pretty much. And the second step is to discover what's out there for your organisation, what meets your needs. So in this step, you have to keep in mind who is working with the same client base within your area, what services are available in your locally or where you're looking, how can you work together with these other organisations to better the outcomes for both organisations. So in other words, you're looking for an organisation which does very similar program services, so you can network across with them and provide both similar services to have a good outcome. The third step is to simply contact the list of organisations which you think is ideal for your situation. Discuss your programs with them, ask what service they may offer, and ask any other regular information which you may need to make your final decision. And after that, you set up a first meeting, pretty much, and then you go from there. But if you're looking to network more specifically to government sector, you need to become informed about the community needs within the specific local government area. So in your area, the government will know what needs and what they want, and you have to be aware of that when thinking of approaching networking with government sector. Then you have to identify how the organisation can support the local government to respond to community and service delivery needs. So in other words, just how you can support the client and the community. So they won't network you if they don't network with you if they don't need that type of service. And then you target your approach to the local government by identifying a key contact in the government, and then you build on that partnership, that networking with the person. So you go to them always in the government, because it's easier to network with one person instead of just trying to find someone to talk to all the time about your networking with them. But be mindful of government decision-making processes, like deadline for information and time required for decisions to be made, because sometimes they take a while to make decisions and deadlines, and if you miss them, it won't happen. The value, limitations, and dynamics of networks and partners and corporate partnerships. The limitations are that whatever you agree on is that's all it covers. So if you agree to do certain things in this partnerships, that's all you can do. You can't. That's all you're meant to do. You can't go outside of the agreement, offer another service, because it'll be breaking the partnership. It restricts to what you can do, and it just restricts you. So if you promise you using these resources and then that's what you use. It restricts. And what information can be shared between partners as well. and its limitations to the partnership network. The value to this is that they share resources, so they have they have rooms, vehicles, or administration staff. They can share it between them to help with the programs. It reduces cost because you're sharing these resources and you're not doubling up on the resources and the service programs, and you can help more clients because you've got more resources and more services. The dynamics of the thing is that they can bring a new aspect to the program which you would have never thought of, but also it could re-energize the service, meaning that they could see something you don't know about or you don't think, and they can give you help to think, they make it more re-energized instead of just offering the same service. When contacting and with an identified network and maintaining of these relationships. So when you want to contact them, there's a couple of things you have to do when contacting, and then there's things you have to do to maintain it as well. The first thing to do is to develop a clear outline of the project, what the objectives is, outcomes are, along with a time frame. This can be in a form of a letter, so that this can be a form of a letter. The second thing is to do is, before contacting the identified networks, is to let the potential partners know that there is some required information. To help them, you can give them a list of items they will want to know about in the meeting when you first contact them. So in other words, you might give them some basic things like what services they offer, what areas they focus on, things like that, so they're ready to talk about it when they meet you. Then you contact the potential partnership at the first meeting of it. You start formalising the partnership. It's useful to set down the ground rules, objectives, and responsibilities. To maintain these relationships, simply set time aside to organise a coffee or discuss these services and keep them informed. But also organise regular catch-ups to just let them know, or it's even a simple phone call one every so often to keep them in touch and keep talking to them. And that's how you keep maintenance of these relationships. You always, when networking, you always have to promote a positive image. There are ways to promote a positive image, and this includes social media to promote your identity, to like Facebook and Twitter. This should include your mission, vision, purpose, values, logo, so it helps you get out a positive image. It's in the community, people know about you type thing. Using a website which has all your contact information and contacts and pretty much your mission, vision, purpose, all about your company and what you do, and even using media including newspapers, community radio stations and television. You can promote your networks that way by just telling what you offer, the company's name, and what you do and how to get involved in them. And technology has improved networking a long way. Using technology to improve these networks are very important. Some of these networks which technology has made some improvements which is ideal for networking, including you can network across distances. In other words, it has become easier as you can network between anywhere in Australia using internet services, web and that to contact services, which wasn't possible before. and maybe because of the distance, too far, different areas, maybe remote. Now it's simply you can contact them via online, and you can talk to them that way. It saves a lot of time as well, because you don't have to physically go out and talk to them. You can just simply phone them up or send an email or even contact them on the phone type thing, and then it cuts out a lot of travelling time. Sharing of information is much easier and quicker. You just have to send an email. A click of the mouse will get your information across to the other parties very quickly, instead of physically have to mail them. Confidentially, through networking activities, confidential is very important, and everyone's all information, and people don't like sharing information if it's not important or personal information. People don't like sharing. So there are some ways of doing it. And then there is a non-disclosure agreement form which both organisations and staff need to sign. This protects information each party involved in the partnership or network, ensures their privacy by agreeing to keep this information confidential. Information is maintained in secure lockable files and password-controlled databases, and you treat the information with respect. Use it only for its intended purposes. Do not pass on information unless you specifically has to or been given permission to by the people to pass on. Okay, there are many opportunities within the community for networking activities. These opportunities can be both local and international events on the calendar, which can bring services and the communities together. These include when there's a community festival, have a pop-up stand which promotes the services which we are providing and who our partners are. If there's an event which is focused on and in our community, you can help sponsor them, or even offer a partnership with them, or even again have a store in the event as well. We can always organise a community event and at the same time look out for potential networking opportunities as well. Host your own. Okay, there's many ways you can maintain networks once they have been established. This is done by managers in each organisation supports the relationship, which is important. If both sides don't support it, then it might be in trouble. All partners are involved in the planning and setting of prioritise goals. In other words, if they want both parties to have a say in how the program runs, what they want done type thing. There are regular opportunities for formal and informal and voluntary contact between members. The roles and responsibilities and expectations of partners are clearly defined and understood by all other partners. And that's how you maintain networks. Is there any questions?
No. It's basically pretty clear.
Really clear. Thank you for coming and to the presentation about establishing networks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, and now the next one. That's that one. I think health and safety is the next one.